Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, and today we're checking out the very interesting AMD R9 285, and this is the Strix edition from Asus. So I say this card is interesting because it kind of falls in a weird place in the market. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, I don't usually compare cards to what they were meant to compete against or anything like that. I go off price most of the time, usually New Zealand prices, because that's what it comes down to a lot of the times, is you only have so much you can spend on a graphics card. So I compare the ones that people would be able to pay for, ones that are in the same price bracket and things like that. And that's where this one gets a bit funny. And I have also checked for American prices as well, because I know a lot of my fans are from America. So yeah, this one kind of falls in a funny place. Right now the 285 is coming in at pretty much the same price, give or take the different models, the same price as a 280X, which is interesting because a lot of people consider this card to be in between the 280 and the 280X. So it's quite strange that price-wise it's the exact same as the one that is like the one above it. Would be like if the R9 290 was the same price as the 290X, you'd think, there's not really much point to that, is there? Anyways, we'll get into this review. But to preface this saying that when I do a showdown on this particular card, it will be against a 280X. I won't be putting it up against the 280. Because price-wise, that's the closest competing card from AMD. So I will be putting it up against that. But what can we say about the 285? Well, it is interesting. I'll give it that much. Where did I put my little knife? Here we go. It is interesting. So it has the 28 nanometer Tonga GPU in it. There we go. That has 1,792 stream process, so that's the same as the 280 but less than the 280X, and the same goes for texture units, as the same as the 280 but slightly less than the 280X. Now the Tonga GPU is new. Remember the Tahiti GPU, which is in the 280X and 280, which is the same card as a 7970 and a 7950, just with a new name, has been around a long time, and it is, beyond dated at this point. Not to say the 280X is a bad card, but that GPU has been around a long, long time, especially for the graphics card industry. So this is a much newer GPU in here, much newer. Now, this particular one, the Strix model, the GPU will run at 957 megahertz. Although when I actually test it, I'll see if that's legit or if it goes a little bit higher or anything like that. Asus, as always, has extremely nice packaging. Now, there's also a bit of a difference in the memory, more than just a little bit. As we open this guy out. See what accessories it has. So the 285 is on a 256-bit memory bus, whereas the 280 and the 280X are on a 384-bit memory bus. This is kind of similar to, say, like the 980 and 970, how they went down to a 256-bit bus from the 384 of the 780, 780 Ti. It's not a downgrade. AMD's claiming it has 40% more higher memory efficiency through their color compression. So yeah, it's not a downgrade. However, the 2 gigabytes of GDDR5, that is a little bit, that's down from the 3 gigabytes on the 280X and the 280. That is a bit of a downgrade, because even if you reduce the memory bus, which is basically reducing the memory bandwidth effectively, you still actually need the memory there, especially for gaming at higher resolutions, where we really tend to notice that you use quite a bit of memory. Now that's at 5,500 megahertz, the memory speed on the 285. That's by contrast to the 5,000 megahertz on the 280, which you remember is on a 384-bit bus with 3 gigabytes memory, and the 6,000 of the 280X. So I don't really know what to make of the memory. I'm kind of a bit, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So anyways, in the accessory box we have the Asus setup guide. We have a 6-pin to Molex connection, a driver CD with some additional software, and that's it. So pretty basic, but I wasn't expecting that much more. Now let's get into this card itself. Oh, it looks quite tidy. Oh, I see. So Strix is the Greek word, I believe, for owl. Or is it the Latin? Or is it both? It's been a while. I've been out of school a while. But regardless, this graphics card already, I haven't seen this yet, by the way. I haven't even seen pictures of it. Aside from on the box, obviously. I was just handed this. And they said go do a review on it. Yeah, so this looks like a very similar to just the DirectC 2 cooler. You know, I've covered quite a few of them by now, and this looks very, like, almost identical in terms of the where the heat pipes are. We're seeing the 10mm heat pipe, just like on the DirectC 2, coming out the top. I think the fans are definitely changed. Yeah. The fans are changed, and the heatsink design is slightly changed, so I think they have improved it there. Although Asus does not have a good track record when it comes to AMD cards. Yeah, it's definitely a bit bigger than the DirectC 2. It has a nice backplate like normal. Well, it just says DirectC 2 on the back. So what is it, the Strix or the DirectC 2? Or is it the DirectC 2 Strix? God, could they make the name any longer? Anyways, let's get into, now that I've finished rambling, let's see what it's got in terms of I/O. Oh yeah, so it's pretty standard, yeah, around the back. Full-size display port, HDMI, DVI-I on the bottom and DVI-D on top. Has bridgeless crossfire, so it just like the 290, 290Xs, it just goes through PCI. Dual 6-pin power connection. So that's quite good to see. That's cool, it looks quite beast. So let's talk about some of the features of this GPU. So it features improved tessellation performance, lossless delta color compression, that's the memory, what we talked about earlier, the memory, higher memory efficiency, updated ISA instruction set, high quality scaler, mantle support, which is good. You don't get that on the 280 and 280X. True audio, another thing you don't get on the 280 and 280X. And a new multimedia engine, which allows faster video playback, editing, and transcoding. So, yeah, it may not be as beast as the Tahiti GPU and the 280X, for example, but it's definitely a lot newer and has a lot more features. And also FreeSync, but we'll talk about that further down the road when it actually comes out. So now let's talk about this cooler itself on this card, this Strix cooler. So it has their 10mm heat pipe at the top, which they're saying transport 40% more heat away from the GPU than the reference design. Well, I'd hope so, although I've never seen a reference 285. It includes 220% larger heat dissipation than reference, and they're saying it's 30% cooler than the reference model, which would be a vast improvement. This also features their 0 decibel technology, so the fans will actually turn off when it's on a light load. I don't know what degree it turns back on at. When I test it, I'll find that out for you guys. But yeah, these fans will turn off just like the MSI Gaming 4 G970. The fans turn off at when it's under a certain temperature, which means that it's, you know, there's 0 decibels. It's very, very quiet. Now it also comes with their upgraded components, which is the DigiPlus VRM, applied via 8-phase power design, which uses digital voltage regulators to minimize power noise by 30%. that enhances power efficiency by 15% and widens voltage modulation tolerance, and improves the overall stability and longevity of the card by 2.5 times over reference. So basically all that means is that you're going to be able to overclock this card further because it'll be more stable due to the upgraded components, and also they should, in theory, last longer than the standard ones that you get on the reference design, which again, I have never got. So we'll be doing a showdown with this against the 280X and see how it does. I'm thinking it'll probably be similar to when I did the GX 970 versus 780 video, and how they were both pretty close in terms of performance, but I still recommended the 970 over the 780 purely because, you know, it's a newer GPU, has more features, newer technology, a lot more future-proof, and that might prove to be the same with this over the 280X, unless there is a vast difference in performance. But if they're completely neck and neck, then you're probably better off with the newer card with the newer GPU in it, purely because it has all the newest features and has more support for things down the road and stuff like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel so you get the showdowns as soon as they come out. And I'll catch you guys next time.